pump comes with the new gasket, and in the gasket there are two holes which hold in a screw to keep it in place. So all the screws are the same. You can just put one in there and tighten it a couple of turns. So that's one. Put another one in there. A couple of turns in the gasket. Now the gasket is so battery died. We're back. We put the two bolts in place, and now we can put the gasket on. It doesn't fall on the ground. So let's do that. I cleaned it up with some scotch, special scotch for metal pieces. You can find it on eBay or something. 3M, good one. Now we're gonna make sure there's no debris on there. So check with your finger and with a rag, just for the last pieces of possible debris, and it's clean. So let's put the water pump on there. Oh, like this, that will be better. Yeah. And let's keep a bolt in hand to put somewhere in another hole. So let's gently put it in there, and this seems to be yeah, seems to go pretty good. So battery died again. Ah, damn it. So the bolts go in, and they have to be tightened at 10 Newton meters. As I lend out my little torque wrench, I'll do it by hand, but I'm used to it. But so you just know, 10 Newton meters is the correct torque setting for these little bolts. So I'll do that. Then before the battery dies again, you never know, the correct setting for torque setting for our tensioner is 30 Newton meters on the skid. One more bolt on the bottom, and just feel for it, and there we go. Yeah, pardon me. Yep. And the ones which held in the gaskets, tighten them also by hand. Make sure they go in nice, and they do. And these ones, yeah, you can tighten them in a cross pattern. Good exercise. And round and round, clockwise and clockwise, doesn't matter. They will be good. And they go in. Yep. Okay. So, damn it, that hurts. Let's tighten them down. Number 8, right here. So let's tighten down the ones which held in the gaskets. Until they're flat against it. Then we clean everything up. Yep, touching, that's good. You could use power tools, but yeah, since these are small bolts, I prefer doing it by hand, so you don't make the mistake of over tightening one bolt and creating a leak. Yeah, so that's against it. So we start from the top. That's nice and flat. Let's take the bottom one. Yep. Then from the bottom one we take this one. So we use the cross pattern. Then we take the opposite one. Yep. Then we take again another one. Then this one. Up. And there's one here to not forget. Of course. And that's about 10. And then check this one. That's 10. The bottom one. 10. This one. 10. This one. 10. 10. And 10. So now we go clockwise to touch them and make sure they're all at 10 Newton meters. That's good. 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 Bottom one. Good. To the left. Good. And this one. Good. So they're all tightened down. Now we can clean up our mess. Let's just spray it with brake cleaner and let me blow it with the air. But before we do that, I'm just going to remove the pants because also you'll blow air in our coolants, and that's not a good thing. So one pan here, just a nice little quick cleanup, and the other pan on top of it, and we just add it to this one. There you go. We'll replace the fluids with new one as it's filthy. So this one goes over here for the moment being. And now we can clean up our mess a bit more, but I'll do that off camera. Of course, that's not very interesting. Let's take the brake cleaner and make sure it's nice and dry. Just take a good old big can, maybe a rack, and just hit it everywhere you can. Not too much, but it's also like a little. Make sure the holes everywhere are nice and clean of coolant. free of coolant. Check it out. All the filth and grease just drops to the bottom. Now we will hit it with a little bit of compressed air. Air and fire, your best friends in an automotive shop. Pretty good, just to make sure. A quick second degreasing time. Yeah. All the cavities, make sure they're dry. And this last time from the bottom, I will clean the bottom with my hands and a rag, so it doesn't fly up again. The grease and the filth. Make sure, I have to look for it. Aha. Make sure you take out this. Make sure before you blow it with the air, you take out this little slot that goes in the crankshaft. Yeah, neck. This slot is where this one gets aligned, you see, and this slot lifts on the shafts right in the hole. So take this off before you clean it with the air gun. So now that we have cleaned everything, we can install our pulleys, guide pulley, tensioner pulley, and the belts, and then it's the reversal, of course, but we're not gonna film that because that's pretty boring for you, so unless you want me to, but then you have to tell me in the comments, because I don't know, but I don't think so. No boring stuff here. All right, it's raining. Nice for my plants. Reinstall the slot. Goes in on the side. Of course, it should be make sure there's no debris in there. Yep, that seems correct. Yep. You cannot install it wrongly, because it's the same on every side, just a normal slot. And it's difficult with one hand sometimes. So clean it off again and put it in, just put it in. And there we go. Make sure it doesn't fall. That's good. We install our pulley. This one slides in. This is our pin to make sure it's aligned. It's on time. And it fell out again. It's really it's funny, isn't it? Oh, come on, just stay in there, will you? So, once again, okay, there seems to be a problem. There's no debris on there. Should be good. But it's really, really tight, so. Oh man. Just go in and stay. Okay. Got my head. Okay, no problem. Then I use two hands because this is getting silly. Oh, come on. Not again. Just go in and shut up. Man, this is getting weird. Yeah, we got it. We got it. What the fuck? Okay, so now you see it's fixed in there. Ah! That was a tedious task. Yep. Very tedious task. So now it's in there. You can see it slides on there perfectly. And now we can install the rest. So on goes the new guide pulley first. So makes no difference which sides you put on there. SK France makes them apparently. This one is a little bit different in depth, and this is the one we took off. So yeah, there's a slight difference. Yeah. So this is how the nuts sat on there, and this side is a bit deeper than this one. So try it on with the least deepest side and spin it to make sure it's running correctly. That's how it should be. There we go. Don't think there will be much of a difference. You can check for the alignment of the pulleys. Yep, perfect. So number was it number 18? 16 perhaps. 16, yep. And this one, yep. Do it with torque wrench. I have the big torque wrench and the one here, 45 Newton meters. 45 Newton meters. 16. So, yeah, if you can torque it down, why not? So this is 40 and this is 45. There we go. Nope. And that's 45. There we go. I'll keep it around and put it to 30. This is 30 Newton meters for the tensioner bolt. That's one in place. Then I'm gonna put back the timing pin. Wiggle, wiggle, and there we go. There we go. Nice. Oh, we could have put it in here. Also, doesn't matter. Our tensioner pulley right over here. Oh, this one is a bit was a bit too enthusiastic. So it's pre-tensioned to make it easier to put on the belt. Normally, sometimes I do it wrongly. Maybe I'll use a bolt too. So this slot goes on this little piece here, and let's put it on just flat against it. Don't cross-thread the bolts. You see why I moved this pin? Else it couldn't be screwed against it. Making those sounds like Lara Croft. Yeah, almost there. Oh. So this should be able to move a bit, so I'm gonna screw it against it and turn it back just a little bit, so it's actually loose. It's actually a bit loose. So now the belt can go on, and it should be easy to put on like this. Let's take it out. When you put on a belt and there's no direction on it, always make sure this is facing you, so it goes on like this. And that's most of the time the good direction when there's a direction on there. So we start over here. We have a loose one, so this is fixed, this side, and this side is tensioned. So we need to make sure this side is good. So we start at the camshaft, where I'm gonna already put it on there, just a tiny bit, so it stretches a little bit everywhere. So camshaft, that's on. Then are we gonna start at the crankshaft rather? That will be easier. Yep. Get it on there. We have to duck under it and give it a little push. A little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. And there we go. You can't put the bolt in, just to make sure the pulley doesn't come off. So now this goes on the water pump, just to make it easier, because the belt has been sitting in a box, so it's the water pump spins freely, so it doesn't matter. This is our tensioner. I'll put it around as well. So we already have the belt more or less in place there. Now we continue at the crankshafts. Make sure the camera is filming it, of course. Yep, goes on. Now the back of the belt against the idler pulley. Then this is the most important part of a belt fitting. You make sure the belt, the teeth are in the pulley. I can feel it, they're good. And now this side needs to be pretty tight, so you can feel this is a pretty tight fit. This will be good. And the rest we have to tension with our tensioner. So we grab the belt here, we continue, put it in the teeth over here. You don't have to shove it, but it's pretty sturdy, but you can shove it a little bit. So we make sure it goes on the pulley for the high pressure pump, and that one is still in place because we marked it, remember. And let's see what we have here. This looks like a great fit to me. Everything is on there. We can slide the belt on the pulleys just a tiny bit. So, yep, it will start to go on there. Nice, 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 nice. And this side we have to tighten it down, obviously. So now we retract the pin. The spring and the tensioner will give it some tension, and then we have to turn it counterclockwise. And I had it here on my program, so it shows you here to turn tensioner counterclockwise until the lines, the marks line up, and the marks, they mean these marks. So this hole, if you can see it here, no, this hole should be nicely lined up in the center of this. And I would recommend just tighten it a little bit more, because when you turn the engine twice, you check it, it should be in the center with a new belt. And from experience, I know there's a little bit of slack, so we don't have to loosen it again and tighten it a bit more and then check it again. Not necessary. Just tighten a little bit more, like a millimeter, perhaps two. Better a little a millimeter too tight than a millimeter too loose. So now we retract the pin. Tension goes on, so we have another pin that we can use up in the pin box. Now counterclockwise. You see what happens here? Everything gets tight. So I will try to show you with a mirror how the eye is lining up there, and that's everything you need to know for this video, actually. So you see the eye is far from that yeah, there we go. The eye is far from where it should be, so we need to tighten it a little bit more. I hope this is on camera as we tighten it a little bit more. You see it starts to move. Make sure this is in there, not too tight, but also not too loose, because everything is weighing down on the bolt. So we just loosen it a bit, and then we continue to tighten down the pulley. And it's too tight, so let me back it off a little bit more. There we go. And there we go. As you can see, the eye, I hope you can see it, the eye is almost in the center. And there it is, and a little bit more, and that's it. So I'm gonna take my wrench now, hold the tensioner in place, the spring of the tensioner in place. I'm gonna tighten the nut down. And check for it again. Yep. So that's tight. Leave my X key in there. Now let's check for it again. So now it's obviously it's too tight. So I'm gonna back it off just a little bit. So untighten it again. It's hard with the camera, so pardon me. Turn it a bit to the left. That's enough. Then check for it. Yep, that's it, that's it. Tighten it right there. That's tight. Now check for it again. And that seems to be a little too tight, just a little. But I'm gonna leave it like that. I think that will be fine. And just hand tighten it a bit more. Yep. So now we're gonna turn the belt. It's nice and tight everywhere, as you can see. Now we're gonna turn the belt 2 times and then check for it. Make sure this one 30 Newton meters doesn't come out, so this will be good. Take out your pins, your timing pins. Yeah, they might be a bit stuck, so you might have to rotate the engine a bit. Could be the case. So let's do that. Rotate the pins, take out the pins, and yeah, this one is a bit stuck on there. So I'm just gonna turn the crankshaft, the camshaft a bit with our number 16. It tightened up in that direction, so it's pulled to that side. I need to pull it back a little bit, so I have to turn this a bit back, a little bit to the left, just that you can take out the pin. So just let me do that quickly. There we go. You didn't put too much force on it, just enough to get the pin out. So, our timing thing, put it over here. Now let's put on the pulley and rotate the engine twice. So that means 4 times. We have to rotate this 4 times. And let's put it on. Yeah, right, it was a difficult one. Somewhere. Yeah, that's good, that's in the slot. So take the old bolt. Just you have to take it out again, so it doesn't matter. Here and there, perfect. You'll feel some tension with the pistons compressing the air in the engine. It's normal. One time. And this is because you have to make sure all the components are turning good. Everything is spinning correctly, and the belt should be flat with the pulleys, as you can see here. This is nice and flat, so actually I do need to spin it twice. I've done it a couple of times, a lot of times. So I know this is looking pretty good. It's spinning correctly. Now I'm gonna line up. Let's pretend this was 2 times. Let's line up. As you can see here at this pulley also, it's perfect, flat against it. If something is off, you need to check it. Let's make sure the pin can go in over here in this hole. Yep, that's almost it, I think. And a little bit more. Just a little bit. And wiggle it around, and it goes in. Nice. It goes in nice and up. Super good. This is the old one, I hope. They put a new one. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's okay. Just for showing purposes. Let's leave it there. Yeah, I put a new one. That's good. Now we will need to take off the pulley again and check for it one last time. So make sure your impact is good to go. And if not, block the engine and take it off. As you can see, it didn't move. Let's take the pulley off. Oh, that's nice. Comes off nice and dry. And let's check for the alignment. And as you can see, the hole is perfectly centered. If you can see it, I can see it, but you can't, I think. Let's check for it. And this is what I call a perfect timing belt fitment. Yes, the holes line up. We're happy, customers happy, we'll be happy. This engine will spin like a pussycat, it will purr like a pussycat. So my two tools go back. It's for later. We cannot forget to tighten the tensioner. So here we have our torque wrench with the 30 Newton meter setting. And of course, before we tighten it, almost forget, check for the tensioner. It should be somewhere in the middle, and it is perfectly in the middle, almost a little bit, just a millimeter tighter than in the middle. That's what I like, as the belt will stretch a bit and you'll have a nice ride for the coming 120,000. This is 140,000 kilometers, so or 10 years. There we go. Thirty Newton meters. Click it twice to make sure. You know what it is. You could click it, click, and the threads could be just bent or broken. That's why you need to click it twice, gently. Or it could be stuck on a little piece of Loctite or whatever. So that's it. Put the pulley back on, tighten the camshaft, crankshaft nuts down if you want to know how much it is. It is stated here for this car 100 Newton meters and then 90 degrees. So 100 Newton meters and 90 degrees. Or use the impact. Maximum setting on this one is I think 700. I know it's enough. Maximum setting it can be tight perfectly fine with this Chicago pneumatic impact gun. And that's how you do it. That's how you do the timing belt. One last close up, and we close out with, as Eric the car guy would say, have fun, stay dirty. See you.